All right, let's talk about something real. If you're a musician, an artist, any kind of creative person, I'm willing to bet you've got, let's call it a complicated relationship with money. And that feeling, that knot in your stomach, it is not just in your head. It's a real pattern. And today, we're going to break that pattern down and figure out how to turn all that financial stress into creative fuel.
I mean, does this sound familiar? That feeling of being totally overwhelmed by an income that's all over the place, or, being almost afraid to even look at your bank account? If you're nodding along right now, the most important thing I want you to hear is this.
You are not alone. Seriously, this feeling is so common. The whole money struggle for artists, it's not some personal failing on your part. It's a pattern, a really well documented one. And just understanding that, well, that's the first step to finally breaking free.
Okay, so let's really dive in and break down what this struggle actually looks like. Some recent research with music students gives us a super clear picture of the core challenges that creative people are facing, day in and day out.
This chart right here, it basically maps out the anxiety. Now, the biggest piece of the pie, no surprise, is budgeting and spending. But look at how it's all connected. It's tied into the lack of savings, the confusion around loans, the constant stress from a regular income, and of course, the huge toll it all takes on our mental health. It's like this tangled web, and budgeting is sitting right there in the middle.
So, why is budgeting so dang hard? It's really not about being bad with numbers. It's an emotional thing. There's this genuine fear of what you might find if you look too closely, right? It's this feeling of being so overwhelmed that it almost feels safer to just do nothing instead of risking a misstep.
And this is where it gets really, really deep. All that financial uncertainty, it starts to attack an artist's sense of self-worth. You have a slow month with gigs, and your brain doesn't just go, oh, it's a slow month. No, it whispers, maybe I'm just not good enough. And that's the crucial point here. This isn't just a money problem. It becomes an identity problem.
But here's the thing, this struggle, it is not the whole story, not even close. We're about to make a big pivot here, because hidden inside all these challenges are your greatest strengths. Okay, it is time to completely reframe this entire conversation because the skills you use every single day as a creative person, they are the exact same skills that make someone a successful entrepreneur. You just haven't been pointing them at your finances yet.
No, seriously? Think about it. As an artist, you're already highly motivated. You're entrepreneurial. I mean, you have to be, just to get gigs and manage your own projects. You already have the desire to save and invest in your craft. And you know what? When you're given a clear path, you are ready to take action. These are not weaknesses, my friend. These are superpowers. And this right here is the key takeaway. If you hear nothing else, hear this. Your financial stress is not a character flaw. It's a systems problem. You don't lack the ability, you just lack a framework that's actually built for a creative life, not some standard 9-to-5 job. So, okay, let's build that framework. We're gonna look at a really simple, super practical toolkit that's designed specifically for the reality of an irregular income. And remember, these are systems, not strict, scary rules. They're just here to bring a little bit of order to the financial chaos. First up, let's tackle the big one, the tax monster. Here's the simplest, most powerful rule for any freelancer. The second you get paid for a gig, I mean the moment that money hits your account, you immediately transfer 30% of it into a separate savings account. Call it taxes. And then you don't touch it. Seriously. This one habit can eliminate the single biggest source of financial panic for freelancers. It's not even about just paying the bill. It's about buying yourself peace of mind for the entire year. Next up is your emergency fund. Think of this as your creative safety net. And look, forget about saving some huge, scary amount right away. Just start with 1 month of your absolute essential expenses. That's it. Open a totally separate account for it so you're not tempted to dip into it. And then just start small. I mean, really small. Automate a tiny transfer, even $5 a week. The goal here isn't the amount, it's about building the habit. Once you do that, momentum will follow. I promise. Okay. This next one, this is a budget for people who hate budgets. So forget tracking every single coffee, every penny. Instead, you're going to use percentages. Every single time you get paid, you give every dollar a job by splitting it into these 4 digital envelopes. So 30% goes straight to taxes, 20% goes to savings, 10% gets reinvested back into your business, for gear or networking, and the last 40%, that's for your living expenses. It's a super flexible system that works no matter how much or how little you make in a month. So, why are we even talking about all this stuff? I mean, why do percentages and savings accounts actually matter when it comes to your art? Well, it's because they are fundamentally absolutely connected. Let's make that link crystal clear. The whole point, the ultimate goal here, is to build what we call a sustainable artistic life. So what does that even mean? It means that your money life becomes the stable foundation. And on top of that foundation, you can build a daring, creative, and long-lasting career. See, these systems don't restrict you, they actually set you free. I mean, let's just look at the alternative for a second. When you don't have these kinds of systems in place, that financial stress, it inevitably leads to some really predictable and really damaging outcomes for your creativity. You feel anxious all the time, which just kills your motivation. You end up creating less. Your health starts to suffer because you're skipping meals or you can't sleep. You have to say no to amazing career-building opportunities because you just can't afford the risk. And eventually, you just burn out, plain and simple. Money stress directly poisons the well of your art. But when you put even the simplest systems in place, the entire picture changes. The outcome isn't just about being good with money. It's about becoming a better, more resilient artist. Suddenly, you get all this mental space back. You have the freedom to say no to the bad gigs and yes to your passion projects. Your performance actually improves because you're healthier and less stressed out. You can start building a career that can last for decades, not just a few frantic years. And maybe most importantly, you gain confidence and peace of mind. And that is the true soil where great art grows. So I'm going to leave you with this one question. Please don't try to fix everything at once. Just ask yourself this. What is the one small system you could start this week? Maybe it's just opening that separate tax account. Maybe it's automating that first $5. What is the one step you can take right now to give your art the solid financial foundation it truly deserves?